All right, you can see right here, look at that. 2 9-pounders. There's a baitsmith right there sitting there. 63 pounds for the Western Outdoor News, which is one of the finest West Coast tournament trails. And that's one of 4 baitsmiths I used, and this thing got beaten up, tell ya. All right. Hey, welcome. This is Sig with Fish Out Loud. Hey, I'm holding up one of the original baitsmiths, Swimbaits, and this thing has been used over and over again. I have had to glue this thing so many times, but this was a special bait that came out by Baitsmith. And one thing I've noticed about swim baits is everyone's always trying to improve upon them. Some people, you can call it copying, whatever, but I think somebody sees something and says, I think I can do a better job with this. So this is kind of a little bit of a knockoff of the Huddleston. And Baitsmith now is called smithbait.com, and this is the new version of that bait. So a little bit larger, a lot of more detail, and because they had to quit making this, the tail design for Huddleston, if you can see that, was not right. Actually matched Huddleston. But Eric went ahead and put a few patents on this with a new patent tail design and a few other features. So if you want to check out baitsmith.com, you can. I am not making this video I'm not going to get into all the drama, but I am a swim bait guy. And, my friend Byron Velvick held the 3-day Bassmaster Open record for so many years, 82 pounds something ounces. And this last weekend, Scott Martin broke that with a 90-pound limit on Lake Okeechobee. By the way, Byron's Velvick's record was on Clear Lake, and it was kind of like with a big swim bait like this. It wasn't it, but it was made by it was made by Bass Tricks, and Bass Tricks came out with a big old slab, and we all had them, and Byron just had the kahunas to throw them during the tournament. And I remember Byron saying, I've never lost so many fish, because we really didn't know what we were up against when it came to swim baiting in Northern California. I think Byron kind of set the catalyst for, hey, let's figure this deal out. And what we did was, with that Bass Tricks, and it was about 9 inches, we took tubing, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch tubing, plastic tubing, and went through the plastic in the tail just so we could get that tail to do this thing. Okay? And they just loved that Bass Tricks, and I caught so many fish on them. The problem was, a lot of times, is it came with an exposed hook up here and the lead head, so they'd ruin and go bad kind of quickly, so we'd have to keep ordering. Of course, what's his name that owned Bass Tricks, he didn't mind us keep ordering them. So this is a knockoff a buddy of mine made that I still have. And what is this all leading up to? Well, a few weeks ago, I started seeing Ben Milligan's video on his new Hangover, and right away got excited. I kind of said, hey, that bait looks familiar. So, but like I said, everyone kind of tries to improve upon things. So I right away ordered 2 of them. I wanted to test them out and see what they're about. And one of them was I got the slow sink and the medium sink. Matter of fact, you're looking at them right now here. And so I got excited, I took them out there, and I casted the slow sink, and right away my mouth just went open. And I was just like, this thing's not swimming right. Something wrong with it. I took the medium sink out, same thing. And I'm like, what's going on? I watched the video. I went back to the video when I got home and realized that I quit watching the video after he stopped explaining about the fast sink. By the way, I have 2 fast sink right here. And I continued to watch the video, and there was a few minutes left. I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know what it was. And after he got done with the fast sink, he went to the medium sink, and he said, "Oh, guys, by the way, if it does this, he started tossing a bunch of words in a bunch of salad." And then he got to the slow sink, and he's doing the same thing too. And I realized that there's a problem here, okay, with the slow sink and the medium sink. Now, I haven't had a chance. I decided to order 2 of the fast sink because I got to see for myself. I said to myself, before I do a video, I got to make sure that these things are really swimming right. Now, there are adjustments that you can make, okay, to swim baits, and I've altered so many different swim baits to make them swim just right. I tried it on these 2, but that's not the problem. What this is, I thought maybe it might be the tail. I did take some plastic out, thinking that if I could get less plastic, that tail will move a little bit slower. Because one of the things, when I'm throwing a swim bait, I want that thing moving as slow as possible. I want that big fish to look up and go, "I can eat that." I don't want to have to burn it. Have I burned swim baits before? Absolutely, to catch big fish. But most of the time, it is that slow motion. And if you look at Ben's videos, that's not a natural slow down motion. He had to slow down his camera to get you to see that tail swinging back and forth. And I got hooked on it. So I'm going to take these 2 out of the package. I'm going to take them down and just go really slow with my rod. I use 20-pound test. I use 5-power rods. Okay, 6-3. I like that. But I just got a video in yesterday from 6 Cents. Hey, here's some hacks you can do. There was no hacks at all about doing it. It's the same thing he was talking about. So, but if I'm going to share a hack with you, I'm going to give you one right away. As soon as you get out of the package, get it into the fresh air, okay? They stink. It's horrible. It's something that it's just plastic sometimes, I think, when they do mass production. So get them out, get them in the air, let them sit around, and get that stink off, okay, as fast as you can. Takes sometimes up to 4 weeks to do that. So I got these heavies here. I'm going to go check them out, see if it works, and report back to you. I am barely reeling that. See that bait? Not going sideways. That tail's I am just dragging it. And you can see that tail. This is the old bait smith. Completely different bait than what we're talking through. It's not a line through. Hook at the bottom, put a hook at the bottom. But I'm just crawling this thing. And you see that tail just shaking back and forth. God, I love this bait. All right, guys. Let's put it to the test here. I really think they rushed themselves bringing that bait out, that hangover out. And I think the reason they rushed it is because they knew Chris was coming out with this loaded swim baits. I'm just gonna barely, look at that. Just barely. Now his tail's not moving either as much. But because it's got a flat bottom, see that? I think it's all about the tail personally. But it's not going all over the sideways. This is the heavy Chris Zaldane. Let's give it a little bit of action here. Look at that tail, how it just goes back and forth. Just a little bit of action. I'm not careful, I'm gonna be catching a redfish or a large bass. They all live together. Look at that. Chris Zaldane. I'm gonna go back to the heavy Give that a try. Really looks good bait. Just got to work though. Oh, okay. I think my conclusion is save $5 and go get Chris Saldane's loaded swim bait. Oh, brother. Look at that. What a disappointment. Guys, I think you guys rushed it out too fast. You need to go back to the drawing board and do it right. I mean, you can only convince some of the people sometime. Now, are those going to catch fish? Sure they are. Sure they are. I'm sure they are. But man, I'm telling you right now, guys, you should have never came out with this bait. Should have waited. Get it done right. Looks good. Go back to the drawing board. Get her done right. All right. So, welcome back. We're here in the boat garage here, and I'm going to give my final assessment of what I think about the Hangover by 6 cents. And I got to tell you, I've gone back to Ben Milligan's video over and over again, and you got to listen really careful. He knows that he probably shouldn't have came out with this bait. Now, is it going to catch fish? I'm sure it's going to catch fish. I'm sure it is. Can they do a better job? Yes, they can. Having tried the slow sink, medium sink, and the heavy sink, as you just saw, that sample I gave, if I'm going to get one, if you're going to get one, you're going to spend $20, which is not a bad price point, I don't think, for a swim bait. But if you're going to spend $20, get the heavy sink. Don't mess with the other two, okay? I'm going to keep these. I really think I can smash some Jack Crevalles here, some big old bull reds. Probably use the heavy sink at certain times for bass where I live here. But if you're going to save yourself $5, just get the loaded swim bait, Chris Saldane's. You know, full disclosure, I've known Chris for over 25 years. We used to fish against each other on the West Coast before he moved and started doing the thing here, Midwest, Texas, you know, Bassmaster and all that stuff. Great guy. Ben seems like a great guy I'd want to hang out with too and talk about fishing, catching big bait, bass on swim baits. So, but you know, Chris's only comes in a heavy and a slow sink, and I've tried them both. I really like them a lot. But to me, it's all about how slow can you get that bait to move, and how much action is there really slow? Because a bass, a big one especially, when they're going to put all their energy into something, they want it just kind of nice and easy. They don't want to work too hard for it. That's the reason they get big. Okay, they're smart creatures of habit. All right, so I really think it looks great. I'd like to see them spend some more time on the design. I do think they rushed it out. You hear me said that couple, 3-4 times. I do think they rushed it out because it was kind of odd. Here we go, come out with the Hangover, and then 2 weeks later, Chris comes out with his. So I don't want to get into all the drama. I've seen the drama on YouTube. You guys have seen it, but go back and listen to Ben's words very carefully. Ben is smart, and I do hope I can meet him someday because that guy, he's on his game. He really is. He knows what he's doing, and I do hope he takes it, and by chance he may see this video, they can take this and say, hey, we can do better. I tell everybody that. I can do better. You can do better. And like everything, you guys are always just one cast away. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I hope got some information that might be able to help. And, you know, there's nothing like seeing an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pounder caught on a swim bait. You see it happen all the time in Texas. And I live here in Florida on the Panhandle. Okay. Guys, remember, you are just one cast away. Until the next time, we'll see you later.